Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis, and I do love the scent of magnolias in the morning, but I prefer the taste of magnolia at night. This evening, Magnolia Spirits and Ed Carey on Whiskey Business. I'm Dino Tripodis, and welcome back to Whiskey Business, the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. Here's something that I've determined and I take a lot of stock and confidence in, and I'm pleased when it comes to this in respects to myself. I'm going to be 64 years of age this coming April, and I still get excited about things. You know what? You can get bored, you can become complacent, but I still get excited about things that I've done 1,000 times over. I still get excited when I sit down to a fresh poker game and play. It's like I'm playing for the first time. I still get excited when I go to a movie that I'm excited to see and everybody's talking about, and I sit in the theater and I get to watch it. I get excited. I get excited when I sit here on Whiskey Business and come across a new whiskey, or whiskeys in this case this evening, and try them for the first time. I get excited by things I've done literally thousands of times, but when I'm doing it and it's new and it's something I haven't had before, it's a new experience all over again.
Absolutely.
And that is what I love about life. And that is what I love. It's one of the few things I love about myself. There's a lot of things I despise about myself. But the fact that I can appreciate those things, be it a meal, a whiskey, a movie, a card game, whatever, these experiences, and that is my life lesson to you.
I was say this is very nice.
What is my life lesson?
Is this the last episode here?
Being the elder in the room is something that you should embrace and think about, because we get far too complacent.
It's the little things in life, as they say.
Little things in life on a regular basis. And tonight is one of those things that I'm excited about. Our guest is Ed Carey, who bills himself as a whiskey merchant for Magnolia Spirits, and Magnolia Spirits is right here. Another great freaking whiskey right here in Ohio. Ed, thank you so much for being with us tonight. I appreciate it.
Dino, thank you so much. It's great to be here and meet you in person, and the energy in this room is just wonderful.
Isn't it?
And I just want to correct you, though. I'm the old guy in the room.
I know. I meant collectively with the force.
That's right.
It's nice to have somebody trump me a little bit.
Thank you and the boys and your team. This is just great.
It's gonna be great. We're gonna.
And
have
you
a great
talked
night
about
tonight.
excitement. You know, I'm a generation, a decade older than you, and excitement's everything. Once you lose excitement, they might as well put you in the ground.
Right?
That's true.
Right. But we're going to talk about bourbon and whiskey. So we're going to stay excited today.
Yeah, we are, and I think you and I are going to become fast friends, because we're going to find out the history of Magnolia, how it started, why it started, and where it's going. But just before we start, we have 3 bottles we're going to try tonight. Tell us about the 3 bottles we're going to sample this evening.
Well, we need housekeeping first, right?
Oh, okay, the housekeeping. See, see, Ed, I've done over 250 of these things. And I forget about the business. I am one of the worst marketers in the world. Hansberry, do the business, and then we'll get to the good stuff.
I'm going to edit this to make it sound seamless.
No, you won't.
Never
I don't want to. I want
Just
to.
cut me out.
I want
Remind
it
me.
out there. Thank you, Johnny, by the way. Go ahead. Do the business.
Whiskey Business is the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey.
Yes.
Whiskeys this
Whiskeys
evening.
this evening.
Thank you. Thanks for subscribing on your favorite podcasting app. Make sure you do subscribe and follow us. Also, rate and review us, especially on the Apple Podcasting Network. There, they like that, and other people find us. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis, because all of these are videotaped, unedited episodes. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to edit myself out and make me sound like really good. And on the podcast, but
and I just let it roll.
Yeah, all the moles and scars and whatever
Are on the video.
Yeah. But make sure you subscribe. Smash that little subscribe button down there, and hit the little bell icon, and you'll get notifications every time John posts a new episode on YouTube. Whiskeybusinesspod.com is our website. All the archived episodes.
Got that right.
How about this?
Yeah.
It's like I practiced or something. I had a shot before we started.
Okay.
Maybe
Maybe
I
that's
found
the secret.
the perfect level. One shot.
One shot. Maybe
all
just
you
a
need.
bundle of nerves before we sit down, and we need one to settle you. Okay.
Yeah, but we've got all sorts of videos and writings and pictures and stuff on the website. And then thanks to our podcast parents, our family, Evergreen.
Evergreen Podcast out of Cleveland, Ohio, continues to grow and prosper as well. And we're thrilled to be part of that family.
And we have a big announcement, right?
Yes, we do.
Next week. What? What's happening?
Next week. Is it next week already?
Well, by the time this drops,
By
it'll
the
be
time
next
this
week.
drops, you're right. Good. Again, Johnny.
April
thinking ahead.
13th.
April 13th. Whiskey Business presents
Boop, 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 boop.
The Premise. Created by our own John Whitney and executed with the help of Chip Cassell,
That's right.
Greg Hansberry, and myself. We are back at the Shadow Box
and
in
the
the
calendar
upfront
is
stage.
right,
Yep.
At the upfront stage with The Premise, a comedy game show / podcast. It's great.
Tickets are on sale now.
Tickets are on sale now. You can go to all of our socials and find out where. Right?
Yeah, there are links in the description of most of everything that we've posted. Yes.
Yes.
And probably at the Shadowbox's website as well?
Yeah, you should go to the Shadowbox website and you have to go to venues and you go to the upfront performance space and you'll find us.
Yeah. 2 competitors are handed a premise that night. They get 20 minutes or so to write 5 minutes of stand-up material, then come back to the stage and do it. And in between all that fun, we have a guest comic who performs and sits down with us as well. And it's just a fun night.
Who's the guest comic?
Mike Larson.
Mike Larson.
Mike Larson is our guest comic who's been on Whiskey Business before and has been on The Premise before.
And on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
Yes, he has been.
he has.
And Dan Seabury and Ian Williams are our competitors. So
I'm pumped.
It's going to be great.
because
That'll be fun.
we're on a roll with this for people who didn't know, but then it kind of got squashed like everything else because of COVID.
Because of
they closed
pandemic.
the venue and
venue,
everything.
yeah.
So
The pandemic,
It's
and
gonna be
the
awesome.
pandemic.
we can
That's
breathe
why
each
we
other's
have bourbon.
breath.
That's right.
It cures everything.
You see a lot of bourbon sitting around you. This is small by comparison to what was here before the pandemic. Yeah, we went through a lot of whiskey over the course of the pandemic. But now we have 3 new bottles to add to the shelves. So let's get back to it. Magnolia Spirits. I said you and I are going to become fast friends because I think we are of like mind. You mentioned being excited about life and excited to do new things. When did this happen, and how did Magnolia come to be?
Long story short, first of all, I'm a Buffalo boy, still a fan of Buffalo Bills, and moved here in '83. now I'm a Buckeye fan, and my wife's from here. We got six grandchildren, 3 adult kids, and just a great family. We're very fortunate, just very fortunate. But after spending 50 years in the real estate development business and having my own business for 30 years, I retired at the beginning of COVID, just before COVID, which was a mistake because I've got a lot of energy. My health is good. I'm always looking to do something. And I'm the worst damn golfer you ever met.
See, another thing we have in common.
You guys are you're like 2 pieces of
We're
pot
like
here.
soulmates.
So my wife said, "You got to find something. You're driving me nuts. Get out of the house." So I looked around at some different opportunities and stuff, and I'm Irish. I'm an Irish Catholic. I grew up drinking, whiskey, so this was easy, and I decided to create a brand and source literally everything. So I looked around and I found this brand, SN Pike's Magnolia, that was trademarked in Cincinnati, trademarked with the federal government, but in Cincinnati in 1849. And like everybody, they all went broke during Prohibition.
Right.
And so I looked around for a brand, and I read about Samuel Pike, who sold his whiskey all over the country and Europe and stuff, Magnolia. And he sourced everything. He didn't make anything. He bought all his whiskey from Kentucky and then blended it. And back then they called it rectifying. They'd put in all kinds of shit. They'd put in paint. They'd put in dye. They'd put in stuff. Because this was before the Bottle and Bond Act when they started.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah. Maybe that's why he died at a young age. But I found out that it'd fall out of trademark, And so I applied for the trademark. Took me 4 months. I got the trademark, and I said, "This is great." I'm a marketing guy. Been marketing real estate for 50 years, and I said, "Now I got to find some barrels." So I had the hard work of going to every distillery of note in Kentucky and sampling all their wares, trying to figure out.
You poor bastard.
Oh, it was a tough job, but as they say, somebody had to do it. And interestingly, the ones that I liked, Bardstown in particular, they said, "We love you, but you're a new guy and small. We can't sell to you." And then the ones that I didn't like, of course, they wanted to sell to me.
Sure.
So I visited and spent time with the folks at MGP, which is the former Seagram's distillery in southern Indiana, right across the Ohio River, and started the business and bought 144 barrels, had them shipped here in town. We've engaged Noble Cut to finish, bottle, and ship our product to the state and to other states. We're currently, and we started selling in January 2021. So we've been selling for 2 years and 3 months. We're in 4 states, and of all places, Alberta, Canada.
Okay.
And what's interesting is that I can figure out how to run the business model and do the sampling and tasting and blend it the way I want. But I needed some marketing help. My daughter spent a lot of time in high level marketing in Miami and spent time in Europe learning the business. And I said, "Megan, would you please join me as a partner in the business? You can take care of the social media. You can take care of all the propaganda, tasting notes and stuff."
That's very nice, by the way.
And
Brand is
everything.
very nice.
And Megan said to me, "If you're going to be in the business, you got to be on Instagram." And my response was, being an old guy, "What's Instagram?" So she takes care of that. Now we have 1,900 followers on Instagram, and we're on Facebook. Our Instagram handle is Magnolia Spirits, and our I guess it's email. No, our webpage is snpikesmagnolia.com.
Hey, you got that right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we started the business and started making calls to the liquor stores and to the bars and the people from out of state because of our social media for Megan. They contacted us.
Okay.
We've shipped 194 cases to Arkansas of all places, and they contacted us and said, we need some bourbon down here that's different and new. And they did that. And then Canada contacted us because they wanted a rye. So we found a few niches and stuff. And when I started the business, as in all my life and everything I've ever done, I always seek honesty, integrity, and quality. And our product is quality, and that's why we chose or allowed MGP to choose us, I guess, because their product is consistent. You know what you're getting. You can rely on it. And since I was new in the business, I wanted to make sure I didn't make any mistakes, in the first year.
Right.
I did, but I'm not going to tell you about those mistakes.
We wouldn't know.
So currently, we have 3 offerings. And we have a 94 proof wheated bourbon, very much in the Weller family. If you put this next to Weller 12, which I've done with my buddies and stuff, it's not a Weller 12, but it can stand at the same table.
It can sit there. It can
Yeah,
keep
and
you
after
company.
you guys tasted, you give honest opinions of what you
I'm a
think.
big fan of the Weller 12.
Oh, that's other than drinking Magnolia, Weller 12's my go-to drink.
a hard bottle
Except
to
I
find.
barely afford it anymore.
Yeah, you can't find
Right.
it. I think I got a bottle over
Right.
there that's still not open.
And as I have a different. Oh, that's Samuel Pike back there. If you can see him.
He looks alive.
Yep. And in the fall when it's hunting season, I grow my goatee and
Oh, nice.
and mustache, trying to emulate him.
The little glasses.
That's
Nice.
right. That's right. But We're going to sample this.
Yeah.
And I guess the other stuff with the story is we've been having a lot of success with our sourced product. What I did with the label was I went back to the original bottle, which was a liter bottle that sold for $1
Awesome.
in 1849 and the 60s, the 1860s. And I gave it to the designer and I said, take their label, which had a banner and some flowers. And I said, just make it a little more contemporary, but I want the historic look. And the bottle is exactly the same. It's not tapered like a Weller bottle.
Right.
And the original bottle had this ring, so I wanted to get as close as I could to the original, because that's our story.
Okay, well, I got to be honest with you. When we first met you at the Whiskey Festival, yeah, go ahead, just pour some out there because we're going to get ready to taste all three of these this evening. Silly Ed. Which one of these do you want to try?
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
you go,
all of them.
We'll start with this one.
We'll start with this one. But one of the things that first intrigued me and caught my eye, because I'm an old school guy and I think I'm an old soul, was the label. I loved the label. And I thought to myself, when I walked up to your area at the festival, I said to myself, man, if that whiskey tastes as sweet as that label looks, I'm in for a treat.
And you nailed it on the
Very
head.
good.
It's like it's got the old school vintage quality, but just a little modernized.
Yeah,
you know, but
Exactly.
it's
That's-
timeless. It's timeless.
That's what we were trying to capture.
You captured it.
Right.
You did
Thanks.
it. You did it great because
Thanks.
that caught my eye immediately.
And it's still masculine, even though it's flower. You know,
Yeah.
flowers. It's
Yeah,
very,
because when you
very
say
well done.
magnolia, it's definitely sort of a southern word.
Sure.
And it's flowers and magnolias and stuff. It's on the state flag in Mississippi where we want to be. And it's just, I just fell in love with the label and the term magnolia.
Well done, sir.
Thank you.
As far as
Thank you.
marketing and catching the eye of a whiskey
it's
drinker.
nice.
Now, before we talk about this, the tasting notes and all that stuff that you guys know, I just know what I like.
So do I.
We'll let you guys talk about all the technical terms.
Well, here's the deal.
Too much credit.
Here's the deal.
Right.
We've said this, and I'll say it again for probably the 200th time. We do not claim to be whiskey experts. We just claim to love whiskey and love to discover whiskey and the tastes of whiskey and the complexities of it along the way. So we are learning as we go.
Good. Then we'll all learn together.
Right.
Now, what we do with this is, as the label says, we take 4 or 5 barrels and blend those together after they've been filtered. And that helps produce even more consistency because, and we'll talk about other things later, if you take a proof on one barrel and go down 5 barrels, you'll get a dramatic difference taste and proof. So we're trying to create consistency by 5 barrels, but not 40 barrels. Right.
It's still-
And we've got 144 we're working our way through. And my motto is what we don't sell, I will drink.
There you go.
Can't let it go to waste.
There's no loss. There's no loss.
Now, the
whatsoever.
other thing we do is after we've put it in the blending tank, and once again, I engage Tony at Noble Cut to do the finishing for us. And he does a great job. He knows way more
Apologies
than I
to Noble Cut because they need to get on the podcast too. That's one of the few people we've not had on the podcast. So Noble Cut, if you watch this, contact us. We'll contact you. We're gonna
I'll
make
tell
that
him.
happen.
I'll
Yeah,
tell him.
we'll
I'll make
that
it happen. And then the other
hit
thing
it
that-
up on Instagram, and he'll let us know.
the other thing we do is that we import Kentucky limestone water. And as we know, there's no iron in the Kentucky limestone water. And that's why everything, grains set aside, everything else not considered, that's why Kentucky is the home of bourbon, because of their water. And we're the only people in the state, as far as I know, with all the distillers around the state that import Kentucky limestone water. And here's an example of something that you can buy literally on Amazon for about $5 a bottle. That's Kentucky limestone water mix. We bring it in by the tote,
Right.
but I wanted to show this to you. And I actually keep one of these in my refrigerator.
Right.
in case you want to just open it up a little bit, but not too much. Not too much. So we'll proof it down over 2 or 3 days, very slow trickle, so we don't shock the water. Now I'm speaking like Tony would tell you, because he understands that, and it just makes sense to me.
Sure.
You mix it in over time, easy. And we think that's what differentiates our bourbon from all the other bourbons.
Okay.
So salute.
Salute. This one has right out on the nose. We pick up a lot of floral on the nose, right, boys?
A little bit of fruit.
Some fresh baked bread, maybe. I'm
I'll tell
looking
you in
at
a second.
some of our notes.
Oh, it's nice.
Yep. Okay. This is all coming back to me now.
It's the 94 proof. In case anybody's out there, and there's no a little bit of tiny burn on the back end, but very smooth up front. It's nice.
Up front,
very sweet.
yeah, it's got this like sweet start, and then that's like bitter crawl on your tongue.
Vanilla,
A little fruit.
Vanilla.
cherries,
Fruit. Yeah.
vanilla.
Maybe even a little tobacco sort of hidden in there.
When you pick the 5 barrels to blend, do
Yeah.
you taste them ahead of time and try to match them, or do you just pick 5 randomly and go?
Usually we'll just pick 5,
Sure.
but we, out of the 144 that we started with, we'll make sure that it's spread over those numbers. So it's not one right next to another.
Gotcha.
Even though in transport and stuff, they probably get shuffled like a deck of cards.
This
We're
is,
in the process now of finalizing an order with MGP, who's not taking any new clients, I might add, for another
Really?
for another 100 barrels. So we're a legacy client, even though, and I was really surprised because we're so small. Like Old Elk, they bought $10 million worth of bourbon from MGP.
You don't
and
have
I'm
that
buying a couple
bankroll?
of $100,000, not millions.
Not millions. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So
So maybe it's just the fact that you have a very pleasant personality and you're a charming man that they kind of
and I'm tall and handsome.
yeah, exactly
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe that was part of it.
For all your
If 5'8"
listeners,
is
extremely
tall
handsome.
and old is handsome. I got that
You got
filled.
that covered.
And Catholic.
Mom. This I did not know that MGP was not taking any. Is there,
No new clients.
until or forever. Or
Well,
I'm sure
no,
they'll open it
but-
up again. But for now,
Yeah.
they're just overwhelmed because whiskey and bourbon is just. Are you amazed at that? That it hasn't really quite tapered off. That it continues to grow and explode. Ohio now has become this magnificent state for whiskey and bourbon and rye and so
Well,
forth and so on. I mean,
You see our friends at Middle West just announcing a
I
$6
saw
million
that.
expansion.
That's gonna be
and,
awesome.
Watershed will be next, and
Yeah.
and Noble Cut is breaking at the seams in their space. But I will tell you, because I've been around through lots of cycles, nothing lasts forever.
right.
And usually there's overproduction at some point in time. And with the hundreds of millions of dollars that the Kentucky bourbon distillers are putting in, maybe it's 5 years from now. I don't know when it is, but everything's cyclical.
It is.
You know?
I mean, there was
So let's enjoy it while we can. Cheers.
and if you get stuck with a lot of Magnolia, you
Right.
know where to come. Anyway, but I
So
don't think
what do
that's
you
gonna
guys
be the-
think?
I think this
was great.
this is a wonderful. I always think about what would be a great everyday whiskey that I would drink, and this is a good special occasion whiskey. Of course, this is a special occasion night, but I could drink this every day.
Which I do.
Yeah. Do you drink other stuff? You mentioned
Oh,
you
yeah.
mentioned the Weller 12.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, once you start drinking your own product, do you forget about the other ones?
No.
And are you still able to enjoy the other ones and appreciate them as much?
Oh, absolutely, because I always compare it to Magnolia. I was drinking Elijah Craig Toasted last night. Killed about though. Not in one night, by the way. Not in one night.
Quit bragging. I was
Right. And it's high corn and 10% rye. It's wonderful. It's just a different blend. But in the bourbon family, I'll put this up against anything in the state,
It's nice.
and I think it holds up pretty well
It's smooth. It's even got a little bit of a sweetness to it as well.
But it still kicks.
It still kicks and still has a nice.
What's the price point on this?
So the 94 proof.
Well, the
is-
weeded that we're working on right now.
is over there.
Yeah.
Is $50.
Oh.
$49.99.
That's exactly what we like.
Ding ding
Right.
ding.
Right. Right.
But
And then just running through them, and then the bottle and bond, 100 proof, of course. That's $55.
oh, that's reasonable.
And then the barrel proof, which, as I said before, I always tell people, make sure your wife or your husband is with you, or there's an Uber on the way, because this is from 120 to 130 proof, and it's smooth. When we get into this is the way to finish the evening.
Oh,
Do you have a bedroom here? I may have to stay
sure.
here. You know?
We have
crash.
a tasting cup. We can all, have to drink it.
You can crash
This
here
is
if you
a
have to.
responsible show.
You'll be the first. You'll be the first whiskey business guest to stay over. But hey, there's got to be a first for everything, right?
Right.
Okay, so
So that's the pricing, and the 94 proof is in the Weller family, and is similar, except it's proofed with Kentucky limestone water of Old Elk, and we're 65. We're $50, and theirs is 60 something. Right.
we've had some Old Elk on the show. It's
Yeah,
good.
it's fine.
It's good.
It's fine.
Really good. But this is great. We're off to a great start. This is it's a beautiful whiskey, and I want to talk a little bit more about the family affair part of it. Now, what was your daughter doing before she decided to get into Dad's whiskey business? And I know what you were doing.
I have 3 adult children, and
Are they all in the business?
No. Otherwise, there'd be a killing and a shooting. And we'd be like the Murdaugh family. Or somebody.
You'd be on Discovery ID.
That doesn't happen.
Sweet Magnolia.
It's a Southern story.
Yeah.
Megan's
It writes itself. It really
married
does.
to a great guy in pharmaceutical sales, and he's 6'7", and so he has 2 boys, and they're going to be big kids, and they're athletes already, and they're in like 5th and 6th grade. And the good news is they have none of my genes. None. Nothing. I'm just a short, slow white guy,
He is just like you, Dino.
I'm telling you.
And Megan was in the fashion industry for years and years and years, and just left that, and is really involved in this. And the best
that
part
shows
is
'cause there's some
the best
style,
part
you know?
is there's some style.
Fashion.
There is all the media.
There is
all
a little
the
bit
media.
of you're right, Hans, but there's a little bit of fashion to this product. And
There's
how
no
it's
question.
and how it's
And
dressed and how it
fashion
looks.
sells.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're selling dreams, because you can't get to everybody and say, "Have you tasted it?" Getting somebody to try it the first time's the hardest. Once that happens, they're customers. Mm-hmm. Whenever I'm in a liquor store, counting the bottles or doing something, someone will be in there. One time I was in there, and there was this young woman there, and she said, "I need to get a couple of bottles of of bourbon. My husband's having a party." And I said, "Excuse me, you should take some Magnolia." And I said, "But here's the deal. If they don't like it, here's my card. Contact me, and I'll pay you back in full."
Wow.
And that's my standard offer to anybody who tries it. And never has anybody ever called me. Probably because my phone number's wrong. Or something.
I gave her the wrong number.
There's only
that's-
6 digits.
But you know what? That speaks a lot to the confidence you have in the product.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
it's-
you want to do right by people.
Take your coat off. Stay a while.
Yeah.
It's hot in here. You get
Get-
74
No,
over there,
there's no-
Dino.
well, the heat's off. It's just I think it's the
spring.
it's us
Spring in Ohio.
in the whiskey. So she left the fashion industry.
Yeah, and concentrates on her family, number
Right.
one, and then works with me in this. And she's my partner and a part owner and all that good stuff. And we'd sit down and we'll have a business meeting over a glass of Magnolia.
Nice.
But the best part is I get to see her at least once a week, and that's the best thing in the world.
to work with your daughter and see your daughter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every day, there'd be another killing, but it'd probably be me that was killed.
Well,
But I'm very fortunate in that way.
And you said it's your wife. You said your wife wanted you to do something because she knew that the retirement wouldn't work. So how does she feel about this?
Oh, she feels great.
Is she a whiskey drinker too?
Not really. She
See?
likes wine.
It's interesting.
She likes wine. And I told her that we'd been approached by somebody who might want to buy Magnolia. It's not for sale, but I'm a real estate guy. Everything's for sale.
Sure.
My kids,
There's a
this
price for
chair.
everything.
You'll
you want
always
to buy
listen.
that? What?
Yeah, you're always going to listen.
Yeah, totally. And my wife said, "You can't sell it. You want everything to do."
That's her biggest concern.
So we're growing it. That's what we're concentrating on.
That's kind of a testament to the work that you've done in a short period of time, that somebody already wants to buy it. And
It's like
take
a house
it,
you're flipping.
and take it away from you.
Flipping houses. Right. But I think what we've done. There was an article in Business First about Middle West.
Right.
And at the end of the article, they said, and the other distilleries that are growing, and the Watershed and somebody else, and they mentioned Magnolia.
Nice.
No, that's just great. Because we've created a brand in under 3 years, really.
It's tough.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And we source everything, so we can really focus on margins and stuff and promotions, and we want to keep growing the brand. And since I'm still a legacy customer of MGP, I can get barrels where a lot of people can't. Some of the local distillers who source to augment their product can't get barrels from MGP.
So was it a dream to do this? I mean, in all the years that you were doing the real estate stuff?
No. When I was doing real estate, I was focused.
You were focused.
I was focused.
Is that how you work? I mean, you're a focused man. You were doing the real estate. You're focused, and now, no, seriously, I'm
Oh,
asking.
yeah.
I mean, that's it. That's it. You get the tunnel vision. This is my job. This is what I do. And now,
Well, if you want to be successul in anything, you have to enjoy it, number one.
right?
And then you have to put in the commitment, and you can't be stupid,
All right, we're out, boys. Okay. All right, good talk. I'm Dino Tripodis, and that's Whiskey Business. Good night.
No, but like anything, this is always rolling around my mind in the evenings, on the weekends. It's just who I am. And that's what my wife says. You need this. You need this. Otherwise, you'll be talking to me.
You'll be home all the time.
Right. And it's fun.
But there were a lot of things you probably could have done. I'm sure, man, of your background, and you strike me as someone who has a lot of interests.
Well, I've done, candidly, I've done a bunch of different things. It was just time to, I'm in my middle 70s. It's time to roll it back a little bit, right?
You're in your middle 70s?
Yeah.
Oh, God bless, man.
You know why?
Yeah. See,
Because Megan's friends will say, "Gee, you look good for an old guy," and I go, "Yeah."
Nobody listens to me.
The elixir.
Tell you all the time. I'm telling you, a little bit of whiskey every day.
Absolutely.
Is a
You
tonic.
live right.
So
right.
you're like
but
10 years older than me. You're 74?
Yeah. A couple years older.
What are you? Well, I'll
77.
77.
Yeah.
You do look good. Sorry,
But
Pops.
if
My
you're,
dad's 71.
but
you look
what
better
it
than
is
him.
just what you were talking about. It's being interested in what you're doing. It's interest. It's excitement. And just because you're an old fart, you can still be interested in stuff. And a shitty tennis player, crummy golfer, terrible bridge player, all that shit. So I got to do something.
You a good poker player?
I should be, but I'm not.
Okay, good. You can play anytime you want.
Yeah. Come back over.
We'll come back over. We'll play for Magnolia.
We suck too.
So I wanted to create something, and we've done that. Now I want to grow something.
Right.
And given that I'm a little bit older than you boys,
Just a little.
I didn't want to start a distillery because you got to go through all that, and then you got to lay up barrels. And if you're looking down the road in 10 years, well, we're probably not sitting down together.
Probably not.
Right. So let's source it. Let's do it. Let's have fun now.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I mean, you source it, you blend it, you put it together, but you still have to go through those steps. You still have to make the decisions. You still have a say as to what's coming out of this bottle.
I make every decision.
Right.
When I'm talking to the distiller, I say, this is how I want it. Tell me what you think, and then I'll make my own decision. Just the way I ran my real estate business. Give me all the input. Tell me what I don't know. Tell me what I should do. And I'm writing the checks. I'll make the business. I'll make the decision. Thank you.
So when you decided to go into the whiskey world,
Yeah.
did, I'm always curious about significant others and what they think. And your wife
I have
said,
a wonderful wife. I mean, we're coming up on, she'll probably kick me, but I think it's 48 years of marriage. And she's been 100% supportive when we started out, and she had a car and I didn't have a car. You know, a lot of years ago.
yeah, that's amazing. God bless.
And that's what a partnership is.
Yeah, a partnership means a lot of things,
Right.
In a lot of different ways,
Right,
things that you don't
right. So
see and
she's
things
totally
that you don't hear.
supportive.
That's great.
Yeah.
Does she know you're here tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a very good relationship. She's at church and I'm here. Drinking whiskey. I think it's perfect.
She's a good Catholic.
No, she's a Methodist, but
Are you a Catholic?
yeah.
Yeah. How'd that work out?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
Oh yeah. But back to the business.
I ask a lot. I go down a lot of rabbit holes, my friend. That's okay.
fine.
Don't worry.
We could talk about Catholicism for about 2 hours, but that's another topic.
That's another topic for
Right,
another
right.
podcast.
Bless you, my son.
Bless you back. All right, let's get to the second one.
Okay, the second one is going to
You guys
be
clean out your glasses a little bit.
our high rye.
My favorite.
Yep, it's if you love rye, you're going to love this. Think a bullet. It's in that family, and it's 95% rye, and it's bottled and bond. And this was Samuel Pike's original product,
Okay.
which was rye bottled in bond, and that's why this is what we started with. And I had no idea which was going to sell best, but it's interesting because the bourbon market is so strong right now that our bourbon outsells the rye 2-1.
Okay, but I think
So you're going to find on this that's rye, so it's 100 proof. It's proof down the same way with our trickle proof with Kentucky limestone water, and you'll find that it's a little spicier.
I like spicy.
Yep.
Am I just out of the know? But it is I feel like you don't see rye bottled and bonded as often.
No, you don't. You don't. Usually it's a lower rye.
Good.
Usually it's a lower rye. Thank
Yeah.
you.
It smells really good.
Smells really good.
Baking spice and floral maybe.
Yeah, a lot floral spices for sure. Again, a hint of vanilla in there.
But rich fruit notes.
Yeah. And now,
That could be my new favorite whiskey.
no, it's not. It's mine. You can't have it,
Oh, that is really nice.
isn't it? You know, I
It's interesting that
I love bourbons, but I've always been a fan of when you and I have been drinking whiskey for a lot of years before there was a whiskey explosion,
right.
And I can recall a time going to the liquor store where there'd only be maybe 1 or 2 ryes available on the shelf.
Yeah.
There were some other whiskeys available, and it started to increase, but ryes were
Seagram's.
yeah, it was tough to get a good rye.
Right.
So anytime somebody takes the time to invest in something like this and focus on rye whiskey, makes me very, very happy. We had a beautiful podcast with the folks from Old Overholt,
Yes.
who that's who make a beautiful rye whiskey and
Right.
and lots of other great folks. But they had their bottled and bond rye when they released that, and it was terrific. And this is
And at 100 proof, $55. I think it's in the right spot. And Megan and I, we really enjoy doing tastings at the liquor stores. People say, "Well, Ed, why are you doing that?" I say, "Because I enjoy it." And you meet so many interesting people.
Sure.
And Megan says, "No, you stop hitting on those girls. You stop that." And I go, "Don't tell your mom."
Don't tell you, Mom. Well,
But
you just told her.
seriously, what we'll find is we'll say, come on up, taste the bourbon, taste the rye, and people know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they want.
Or don't want.
Right. But at most, I would say 80% know that they want the bourbon or they want the rye, and the people that do the bourbon, the general response is, "Boy, this is smooth." Mm-hmm. And we don't do the barrel proof at tastings in the liquor stores. We do the other two, the 94 and the 100 proof. And the rye people go, "Oh man, this is good."
Really good.
And
Really
what's interesting is people, they rush into a liquor store and we got our little table set up.
I'm not kidding. Probably one of the best ryes I've had in recent memory.
And the people come and taste it, and they'll have their purchase in their arms. They've already checked out. And they go, "Oh, I got to go back and get a bottle of this." And that's what we want to hear. Sure. It validates what we're doing.
Let me ask you this, kids, because as a consumer, let's take the podcast out of it for a second. When you go into a liquor store, how hard is it to fight for space when you go into any particular store to get space and get your product up there? So
well, two things. One, they decide, say you're new like us.
Right.
Okay. So first thing they'll think about is your pricing. Mm-hmm. So we're never on the bottom shelf.
Right.
And we're usually eye level. Now, I've been to stores where we're not, and I go talk to the management, say why we're not there, this and that. So it starts with pricing, but then it finishes with sales. If you're selling, you're primo spot. Our number one store is the Hills Market.
Sure.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Love Hills.
And on one side is Middle West, and then we've got our 2 bottles of each, 6 deep. And then on the other side is Old Elk.
Okay.
Right.
Boom.
And
Good company.
I'll compete against those guys happily. So that's how your location is determined.
Are you having success? And I don't know how it goes. Restaurants, bars, excited about it, picking up, using it?
The ones that we're in are. We're probably in half dozen country clubs and more than a half dozen bars. And once they get it in, and the goal then is to get on the menu.
Sure.
Right. Yeah.
Whether it's with a special cocktail or whatever. The key to this business is to be in restaurants and bars.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Usually the first introduction to these.
Pardon me?
It's the first introduction to these whiskeys.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Because you can't be at every liquor store to do a tasting. Now, I've done in Arkansas, I don't know, 50 tastings because I can't get there. So we hire a company that does this and that, and that's how you get it around. And it's just part of marketing expense, So that's fine. And then up here, we've hired people to do them, and we do them ourselves and stuff. But I can't get down to Cincinnati as much as I should, And that's where this thing was from, right? But the key is to get somebody to try it, and that's why I'm so thankful to you guys for letting me talk about this, because maybe somebody will go out and try it. And I can guarantee you'll like it. If you don't like it, track me down. I'll pay your money back. But you got to find me, and I'll be hiding.
His phone number is 614.
I told my friend Jamie today, I said, there was some whiskey that I tried at a whiskey festival and on the podcast tonight, and I don't think I was wrong when I tasted it before. I think, because he's always like, I've moved him over to the bourbon whiskey world over the years. So he's very excited to try these. I said, I think you're going to love them, and I'm not wrong.
And for you guys to remember it after all the whiskeys you tasted, you were there all day, and this is the one that stood out. That is a testament.
I mean, I got this first card.
Right.
You gave me one tonight, but I had this from the festival.
Yeah.
And there was a handful, and this is the one I kept.
So that was at the Hainer. What's the name?
Henrik
Farms.
Right.
Farms,
Yeah.
Which I would tell anybody who's listening, if you ever have a reason to go to Henrik Farms, where is it? In Circleville? Not Circleville.
Towards Delaware.
Yeah.
Out towards Delaware.
Yeah, you go to Delaware and then you take a right.
Yeah.
But it's a it's a fabulous venue.
It is. It really
it's a
is.
fabulous venue. So they had all the Ohio distillers
Yeah.
do an event there. And we were stuck way in the corner, which is fine. We're the new guys. What do you expect, right? But we had lines at our table
Because
they had a pop-up liquor store.
Yes.
And I don't know how many cases they had, but they sold every bottle of Magnolia they had.
Yes, they did. I'll tell you why you had a line,
Right.
even though you were stuck in the corner, because at a festival like that, word spreads quickly. Have you tried Magnolia? Anybody that goes and anybody that came over there and tried your whiskey and tried your product went and told somebody else, and they went in line.
I told
and
you,
got
I
line.
went to
Yeah.
went to the booth.
Yep.
I said, these people seem nice.
Yep.
Dino, go over there right now. And
right
you're
now
like,
and try it. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, thank you, Dino.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank John. Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Thanks,
John
boys.
Reed.
Thanks, everybody.
Chip was with us, yes.
I was not there.
Hansberry was not there. He
It was
missed
my
it.
kid's birthday.
Oh, he had to choose between his kid's birthday and going with us to
You made the right choice.
in the big picture.
I've stayed married for 48 years. You made the right choice. And do it again. Do it again.
Married,
Right,
married, divorced. You do the math.
Big surprise. So what do we think about the Bottle and Bond?
Okay, right
Very
now it's my favorite.
really
It's
good.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. That this is like picking favorite children at the moment. But
Yeah.
you know, right now I'm picking the middle child.
That's
as
right.
my favorite because
That's
the
the
rye.
redheaded stepchild.
Which one is the rye?
Bottle and Bond.
The Bottle and Bond? No, it is not. That's my favorite right now.
Yeah.
I love them
That's
both.
good.
Yeah.
But
they
the
still-
rye is amazing.
They're still compatible. I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they pair each other nicely.
Yeah, I think that anybody that's watching or listening needs to get them both. You know,
Yeah.
because you're gonna want to sit down with people who appreciate good whiskeys and compare them and see which one you like better. But they're
Very
both
good.
excellent. But
Very
right
good.
now, the rye is definitely
Right. As I mentioned, we're
pulling at
doing
me.
a tasting at a private club, and I said, well, you want us to, the bourbon thing, you want us to, which bottle you want us to focus on? And the guy goes, all of them.
yeah, that's what I said
He
tonight.
said, yeah, fine. Fine.
Yeah, that was so sweet. You know, which one do you guys want to try?
All of them.
All of, you
Your
brought
polite-
three.
your
You
polite
brought
was
three.
like, we'll start with this one.
Well, you brought three. We're gonna try three before it's all said and done. Oh man. So where do where do you want to see it go, friend?
We're in between 50 and 60 stores around the state.
Okay.
Cincinnati, Dayton are good markets for us. Cleveland's a little slow, and we want more stores, and we want to get in more states. I'm amazed at.
Are you ready for that?
I'm ready for anything.
Are you ready for more states?
Let's
Because more
line it
states
up.
means more bottles, more whiskey. Are you ready to
I've
meet,
got-
meet the demand?
I went out and bought 10,000 bottles.
Okay, you're ready.
Right, print some labels, and
Go.
right. And I'm getting another 100 barrels. And one thing we want to do is we want to get some product from Kentucky, and I'm still working on that. But I think
What
this
do you want to
year,
get? What are you trying to get?
well, I want to get a bourbon,
Yeah.
and because Samuel Pike, all his product was distilled in Kentucky
Okay.
and then proofed and bottled in Cincinnati.
Gotcha.
And I'm trying to emulate his story. And Megan and I have recreated S.N. Pike's Magnolia to what it is now.
You've done a fine job, Fred.
Yeah.
You've done
Thank
a fine
you.
job. All right,
Thank
tell us
you.
about this last one, this barrel proof. Tell us a little bit
Okay.
about it.
Now, first things, the most important thing, which is rules. It's a rule which, of course, I break, is when you're drinking the barrel proof, make sure that you have a husband or a wife available to drive you, or an Uber driver.
Get the Uber gift card ready
That's
to
the
go.
Right.
third time
It's-
you've mentioned it this
Right,
evening.
we
Obviously,
put it
it's a
on the
lesson-
label. We put it on the label. Do not drive yourself.
It's a lesson you want to pound
Right,
home. Okay.
right. But after we created the first two, the 94 and the Bottle and Bond, I wanted a third product. And barrel proof is very popular, as you guys know.
I can't read the proof.
Can I have just a little more?
Well, by all means, sir.
I
got
want to
his
make sure
wife.
my taste is proper.
Is your wife or husband here?
What's the proof on this one?
So this
This one clocked in at what? 120.
122.
licorice on the
Let me
nose.
see it, Johnny. Give me, yeah.
I guess so. It's kind of scrawly. It's kind of scrawly.
The guy was drinking it when he was.
This is 125.
Okay. So what we do with the barrel proof is we'll take 5 barrels, dispersed through our available barrels, which is diminishing happily every week, and we'll blend those together for consistency. And one barrel might be 118 proof, another barrel might be 132 proof. It all depends, as you guys know, where you are in the rick house over the years.
Sure.
And if you're on the sunny side, you're going to wind up with a higher proof. You're on the other side, it's not going to be temperatures up and down. It's going to be a lower proof.
Is there a window nearby?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
all
yeah.
kinds of stuff that the history and the story in Kentucky is just fascinating. Have you guys let me digress? Have you guys
Digress all you want, friend.
have you guys read Pappy Land by Wright?
You got it?
It's up here. It's where is
Okay.
it? Yes.
And I recommend that
There it
to,
is.
to
Here.
2 groups of people. And then we'll get back to my product.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you
This
go.
is fabulous.
It's a great book.
You think it's a story about bourbon, but it's really a story about fathers and sons.
Yes.
And I have a son, and I was in the military, and it's a fabulous story. I have 2 copies. I pass them around to my friends, and I shake my finger at them and say, "You make sure you give this back to me." Didn't you think it was a great story?
Well, it says it right there: a story of family, fine bourbon, and things that last.
Yeah.
And-
Which is friends,
Yes.
which is friendship.
Huge.
Right.
That sounds
And
like
as
right up
you
your
said,
alley.
Dino, and I know your group agrees, the reason to drink bourbon is to spend time with friends, and enjoy life. And I'm a firm believer in that. I totally. So
What was the thing I just wrote on our website? Just the beginning of it. I'm too old to get new friends, which ain't so bad because the friends that I have are the best that I've had.
There you go.
So
cheers!
There you go.
Cheers!
to that, my
Oh
friend.
my God!
There you go.
Cheers. Awesome. Okay, so we decided for our 3rd offering we were going to do a barrel proof. So we get 4 or 5 barrels, and we don't have to proof them.
No.
We just blend them. First of all, we do a very light filter just to get the big chunks of charcoal out. So we don't filter it per se.
Right.
Just enough to clean it up because you don't see a lot of junk in the bottle. And
This is one of those Pescetti things.
that's about right.
Strainer.
Yeah.
spaghetti
That's
strainer.
pretty. That's pretty close. Pretty close.
You guys smell licorice
So-
at all? Licorice?
I
Oh,
think
licorice! I'm
as
big
well.
licorice
Yeah.
right out of the both on the nose and on the taste. I'm picking up anise and licorice big time, which I dig. So yeah,
And it's still sweet. It's hot on the tip of your tongue.
Caramel,
it
cinnamon.
It doesn't burn.
Little
It's really
cinnamon.
smooth for 122.
Yeah. Now
That's-
think of the proof.
that's
Wow.
the big misnomer, though. Sometimes everybody thinks just because something is a high proof, 121, 125, that's going to burn and be
Right.
hot. And sometimes that is the case, but a lot of times they are some of the smoothest drinking things, which is why
Right.
you offer up the word of caution because this fakes you out.
It's
You
like
think-
candy.
You think
Oh,
you're fine.
it does.
You think you're fine.
You have 2 or 3 of these, and it's
like,
good
well-
night, Irene.
I don't even know who Irene is.
I
but
know.
yeah,
I don't either, but
But
I don't want to meet her.
Ooh, cinnamon. I just had like
there's
cinnamon.
there's
made me-
cinnamon,
made me shiver.
Johnny, yes, I did pick up on the anise, the licorice in there for sure. Oh,
That's very nice.
great finish. Great finish.
Yeah.
sweet, warm, and lasting for the finish.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
So we've had a lot of success with this.
You should.
And where it's led to, this is a fun story, is I'm trying to get shelf space. So I said, we got to get 3 products. Now I'm thinking of a 4th product because I want to bump Middle West and I want to bump, Old Elk.
Yeah.
And bump is the wrong word. Just move them down a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. Because they'd bump the shit out
It's
of
like when
me.
you're at a concert.
Sure.
You have standing room only show. You got it.
Out of the way,
So
we're building a $6 million facility.
What this has resulted in is we're doing our 5th barrel pick from people having our barrel proof. They say clubs have come to us, bars have come to us,
Right.
and that's a fun thing. Buckeye Bourbon House. We just completed one. It's at the stores. They're buying it now for the Liberty Township firemen.
Nice.
You know,
Right.
a bunch of soldiers and all this. Just great guys. You know, I said anything I can do for your guys, and the guy said to me, he said, when you do a barrel pick, round numbers, you get about 220 bottles.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Roughly.
with the 94 proof, you'll get close to 300. So with the 220 barrel pick for the fireman, the guy says, "Yeah, I don't know if I can get 220.
Yeah, you
I can get 200." I said, "Fine, I'll buy the others myself."
I bet you sold them. I bet you sell them all out.
Totally.
Yeah, you did.
Totally. But I told him, I said, "Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, whatever you can do." The guy's a freaking soldier. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I was in the Army. Whatever I can do for the guy, right?
Absolutely.
You know, and he's a fireman, and he's my fireman. And I said, "You just make sure when I call you, you come to my house,
right.
and it doesn't burn down."
My cat does not get stuck in a tree.
No. My cat can get stuck in a tree. Just the only question is, do I get out the pellet gun or the 22?
We
Right.
actually did. We actually did a barrel selection for one of your competitors, Watershed. Watershed invited us to do a whiskey business
Awesome.
barrel pick, and and that yielded about 180, 85
What was the
bottles.
proof?
It was
119.
Yeah, 119.
Really?
119.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So on all these bottles, when we started, everything was 3.5 to 4 years old.
Nice.
Okay, right? Now listen to this. So we sold all that stuff. A year goes by. Now they're 4.5 to 5.5. We sell that stuff. We're in our 3rd year. Everything's 5+ years old.
Right.
And the
barrels.
profile changes a little
barrels.
bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it only gets better.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is amazing. Now I wanted to sell everything the first year. You know?
Sure, of course.
But you know.
But the fact
So-
now that stuff is aging and it's sitting
So
in the
we're
barrel for a while
doing
longer, makes it all the better.
we've done a couple of barrel picks. We're harvesting the barrel pick for Opa up in Delaware next week.
Yeah, he's been on the podcast as well. You
What a
tell
great
our,
guy.
Tell our friend Ginty
Ginty,
hello.
yeah, Ginty, right.
Tell him hello.
What a collection!
He's due back. Yeah, he's.
Have you been to his place?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
he. And I say this with love. He's crazy about whiskey. I mean, that guy is on.
I think
if
he
there is
has
if there's
the
a
best,
pulse
the best bar and the best selection and the best in the state.
in the state, without. I mean, there's a
He's
bar.
the best.
There's a bar in Dayton that could rival him, but I don't
Okay.
even know if that's.
But for those of you who are listening, if you're any place near Delaware, go to Opa.
yeah, he's
It's
got
downtown. It's fabulous.
he's got his finger on the pulse
The guy's very smart.
of
I admire him
the
a
brown
lot.
liquors.
Yep. I admire him a lot.
He was on one of our early podcasts, like year one.
Yeah. So then we're doing we just agreed to do a pick for I think it's the Cincinnati Club in Cincinnati. So we're doing all socioeconomic groups.
It's okay. Groups is how you get the word out, right?
Right.
Right.
This is amazing. This is amazing.
Isn't this
great.
good?
This is really good.
Do you
Really
mind-
good.
Can we
Where's your
crack open that
couch?
water bottle and get just give it a little splash?
No, I'm going to leave that
try
with you guys too.
You gonna open that? You want to open it up a little bit, Hansberry? Hansberry wants to open it up a little bit.
I want to try the imported water.
He wants to open it up a little.
You make ice cubes out of that water?
We have a splash
No,
of that.
because they stick.
That's a little bit.
Yes.
I should, but that's exactly what I do with it.
I'm good. I want mine as is.
That's what gets this water story alone is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This type of water. I don't know any other brands where they get their water, but that you have a
Well,
story.
In Ohio,
I don't want to denigrate anybody.
No.
But I'm not putting Columbus or Gahanna water in my good bourbon.
Right.
That's all I can say.
Decoration taken.
Right.
It takes a little bit off the front. It's nice. It does round it off a little bit.
It's nice.
Oh, you guys are gonna make me pour a little water in my.
Just
aren't you?
just
Okay.
open
Just
up.
just
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 open
You
it
can have
up.
another one.
Just a touch.
You don't have to worry about a wife or a husband or an Uber.
Or driving.
No, you just have to worry about getting rid of me in the morning.
Sometime you have to get rid of him.
Right.
You can stay here as long as you want. We can watch a movie, get a pizza.
Oops.
So how do we like this, boys?
We love
How do we
it.
like
Very
this
good, yeah.
offering?
We love this.
I think I got to get all three. I can't choose. It's like children. I can't choose between them.
Yeah, I said a favorite
Three of my
child,
kids.
but I'm still, why
You're
can't I
right
put
there?
that on there?
That's the wrong top.
Oh, that's
No,
why.
I'm smelling fruit. too much,
Yes.
Like an orange.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
want to say like a citrus type smell.
And
And
the-
flavor. There's something going on
Right.
with citrus, right?
Right. I always, when people ask me, what do you taste? What do you think? Because I don't, my smeller, I'm an old guy. My smeller doesn't work that well, but I know what I like and stuff like this. And people will say, well, what do you taste? And I'll say, well, it reminds me of that saddle out in Montana back in the 80s when, what are you kidding me? What do you taste? I don't know.
But people are hanging on every word. Oh, this guy knows his
my
bourbon.
God.
He
Oh,
knows
yeah,
his whiskey.
yeah. Leather
Leather
saddle.
saddle in Montana. It was
Must be quite an
1983.
equestrian.
I was out on the ranch. I decided to leave real estate for a few years and
Yeah,
find
right.
myself.
Right.
The hunt for Curly's gold.
To Yellowstone.
Yes. It's just great being with you guys.
Oh, it's fun.
Whether we're on a podcast or not, I'd love to just sit here and drink with you boys.
I forgot to turn the mics
Appreciate
on.
it.
So
Did you?
we're-
Yeah.
forgot to push the go button.
I think I told you that in the email. I said we'll talk about the whiskey, we'll talk about you, we'll get to know
Yeah.
each other, and because everybody that's like first time coming to the podcast is like, well, how's it going to
weird,
work? What's it
right?
going to? And I understand that, but as you've experienced, it's
There's a
I have three
conversation.
questions here: how, why, when. That's what I got.
How'd I do?
Did well. You
Yeah.
did well. You did well. But I don't ask any more than that. I like to hear the answers from you and then go from there.
Right.
I'm intrigued about the person that's behind the whiskey.
Right.
I'm intrigued
Right.
about the story behind the whiskey. I'm intrigued. Was real estate something that you wanted to go into, or was that just an opportunity that arose? Did you have dreams of being something else before you got into real estate?
Do you want to actually hear that?
Absolutely, I do.
So I got out of college in about 1970. I'm one of those guys back then that took a little extra time.
That's cool.
I swear to God, he's my older brother, Hans
Right.
Murray.
I'm the 80s version of that.
He's my older brother that I
So
followed
the
the
hot
example of.
job back then was to be a stockbroker.
Oh, of course.
So I said, I can do this. So I went and trained. They literally sent me to Wall Street to train. Okay. And then I came back in the market from 69 to maybe 71, went straight down. And I lost every dollar and every friend I ever had.
Wow.
Oh, it
I don't
was
know
so
why I'm laughing.
painful.
I'm sorry.
No, it was so painful. And I'm going, I thought you were a hot shit guy. You're a piece of shit. Right. So then I switched to real estate and I started at the bottom. I started as a guy's driver, driving around, and he was a big deal guy. And I'd listen to him and stuff like this. And I just worked my way up the chain, and I got to where I was building buildings all over Ohio.
Nice. Any buildings that we've heard of?
Let's see. The Atlas building downtown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I owned that, sold it.
Okay.
Huntington building.
Not quite that big. Not quite that big.
That's a big one.
Okay, but I built I really like doing industrial buildings. I built a building in Marysville that was the largest building in Marysville outside of Honda.
Okay.
It was 350,000 feet.
Wow.
It was like
That's big.
3 Walmarts.
Like square footage. Yes.
Square footage.
So when you stumbled into that world, it ended up being a good fit. It was something that you dug and you liked.
Well, I started by working for people.
Right.
And I worked real hard. And anybody who's young that's listening, hard work overcomes everything. Everything.
Work
and so
ethic, yeah.
and my old man, I mean, I was a paper boy when I was growing up.
Yeah.
What'd your
old man do?
He worked for the power company, but he said, you can do whatever you want, but if you can't do hard work, you ain't going to get ahead.
Right.
Kids these days, they don't work hard, do they?
You hear that, son?
Kids.
You hear that, son? When you grouse and groan.
Oh my gosh.
Don't get him started.
Yeah, don't get me started. Right. So,
No, I hear you. That's
so I
great.
started,
That's-
I worked my way up, and then 30 years ago, or 33 years ago, whenever I closed my business, 30 whatever years ago, I started building buildings. And I was still trying to figure it out, but I, talked to people and this and that, and I built a lot of buildings around Ohio. I mean, a lot of buildings. There was the one building was an AEP building out in Westerville. It was right in Cleveland Drive. It was 106,000 feet. I built medical centers for Ohio Health. I mean, I had a good run.
Sounds like it.
And the only reason I point that out is the most important thing to my wife and I are taking care of our grandkids. We're not too sure about our children, but our grandkids are very important.
That's how it works, right? You skip-
Right,
you skip the
right.
kids once they're-
But the most, in absolute seriousness, the most important thing to her is her church, and with me, it's my schools and colleges and people I can help.
Your schools and your colleges, the schools that you went to and the colleges that you went to, you
Yeah,
when you say you help them.
Did you ever hear of? And I apologize to the people who are listening because this is not bourbon, but this is life, and this is real.
No,
and
our
this is-
what it's
podcast
about.
is about life.
This is important. Did you ever hear of Cristo Rey?
Yeah.
Downtown Columbus.
Yeah.
I was one of the founders of that,
Okay.
and I helped start.
This
that school.
is why we talk a
I
little
helped
deeper.
start that school, and to this day, we stay. Let me say, we stay involved in helping them along. And
For people who have not
I
heard
don't
of
know what
that,
you're talking
tell us about it.
well, long story short, it's a Christian Catholic-based school
Okay.
that has a work-study program, and you go to school for 4 days and you work 1 day, and it's inner city kids.
And it's high school,
Yeah.
right?
And it's
High
still
school?
cooking.
It's in high
Oh,
school.
it's still cooking. Yeah,
But listen to this. Listen to this.
I am.
Pay attention.
Okay.
Okay. Is that it has over a 95% graduation rate.
Right.
There you go.
How's Columbus Schools doing?
Not that.
And it has an over 95% get into college with a scholarship rate.
That's great.
If I can help those people, I'm going to get into heaven.
Right.
I mean, don't push it.
You sound like my mother. You sound like my mother.
He'll be at the pearly gates and they'll slip him a bottle of Magnolia.
I'll be your mother. You keep doing what you're doing, and we'll see.
Right.
No, but I'm familiar with that school and the program.
Yeah.
And if we had not continued this conversation, what's the matter?
Nothing.
Is it working?
No, you're good. For those people listening, Ed keeps hitting the table.
Oh, I apologize.
I hit the
It's a
table,
nervous.
Well, but it's on this gizmo
it's a
that
nervous
should
tick.
it's rattling, but it shouldn't rattle because that's what
It's
this
fine.
gizmo.
I won't hit the table anymore.
It's not your bad.
It's
I
okay.
promise you. I promise you.
It's equipment failure.
You might have
No.
mentioned that. I
But-
don't know, 10 minutes in,
I've-
as opposed to 50.
Well, as the story and liquor have been unfolding,
He's
it's
gotten
getting
more
more and
passionate
more
here in the last
passionate.
10 minutes. Yeah.
All right, okay, sorry.
But
No,
my
the
point-
the only point of all these stories that you're tolerating me.
Not tolerating.
telling-
Not
you're
tolerating. Not tolerating.
Is
Loving.
is dealing with the people you meet in life and your fellow man and your friends. That's what it's all about.
Oh, yeah,
And
for sure.
Man, I still correspond on silly Facebook or something with the guys I went to high school with.
I get together with my high school friends once a year, every year. 2 of them are my college roommates and
Yeah.
my best high school friends,
Right.
and 3 other them are just guys that went to high school with, and we get together every year, and that hasn't changed in decades.
I'm still friends
So,
with the guys from
again-
like 5th grade.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, this whiskey stuff and bourbon stuff is just a reason to bring us all together.
That's a good philosophy and a good foundation for making what has been 3 magnificent bottles tonight, my friend. Thank you.
Salute.
Salute. Salute.
Just great being with you,
As
boys.
the Italians would say, Chindan. 100 years, my friend. 100 years.
100 years.
The water's good too.
All right, let's recap how people can find Magnolia. Let's if you can remember them after 3 bottles. Let's recap some of the information about Magnolia websites and whatnot, and Instagram and all the socials.
Our Instagram
So your daughter won't
is
be upset with
Magnolia
us.
Spirits. I have no idea how you find it. Good luck. Our web page.
I went to Instagram. You have to type in Magnolia space
Right.
spirits, and it's the first one that pops up.
Thank you.
You feel like it.
Thank
I follow him.
You're a great help. You're a great American, Sean.
I follow you on Instagram.
call you John.
Because I respond to some of your posts.
Right.
I've been
I know
teasing.
that.
I've been saying like, hey, looking forward to talking to him next week on Whiskey Business.
I liked it, and then it says already followed by Whiskey Business.
Yeah.
I love Whiskey Business.
Thank you.
All right.
Boy.
You guys are doing such a great job. You know, it's
You've seen the show?
yes.
Really?
Well, I had to go look at it and say, well, who are these perverts? Who are these
guys know
perverts
what the
I'm
hell
going
you're
to
doing?
see?
Who are these boys that want me to come over to their house and drink whiskey? Yeah.
You're the first person I can remember.
When we had Jackie Zykan on, that was a real.
And then our web page is snpikes, Pikes,
Right.
magnolia.com. And that has the history and a lovely picture of my daughter Megan and I. And you can order this stuff online.
This picture?
Yeah.
That's your daughter?
She's lovely.
Uh-huh.
She's lovely.
She-
Lovely person.
She's a nicer person than she is pretty, and that's really hard to do.
Yes.
You know,
oh,
she-
there you go. You got the goatee going on in this
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah, that's my hunting goatee.
Yeah.
He looks like.
Brad Pitt?
Yeah. Okay.
No, sorry.
No?
No, sorry.
Who,
not
who's
Brad Pitt.
the? Who's the? We have him on the podcast. He has the
Oh,
Evergreen
shit, the sports
podcast
guy,
about
the
the
sports
sports
guy.
guy.
Todd Jones.
Todd
Jones.
Jones
It was
right
Todd
there.
Jones.
Todd Jones.
And
here's Todd
here's-
Jonesy.
And here's the compliment that I've been thinking:
And Todd Jones is young man.
clean shaven, Paul McCartney.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, spare me. Really?
I swear to God, somebody like
Really?
Oh, 100%.
Well,
Some
not
of his
like- not in
inflections
the
and stuff.
50s, But right now, the Paul
Yeah,
McCartney.
but just some of your inflections and the way you
Boy,
kind of
he's
bob
so
your head.
handsome.
Well,
You know,
He's a handsome guy. Yeah.
I don't know about you boys. I don't know about
I'm more of
you
a George
boys.
guy, but
Yeah.
Dino, you better get 2 other guys. I'm telling you.
Once again,
They obviously
remember-
cannot handle their
Remember
booze.
the toast from earlier? I'm too old to get new friends. I'm stuck with what I got. I'm
That's
stuck with what I
That's
got.
the damn truth, isn't it?
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh
like I
my
said
gosh.
before, too
Oh
old to
my
get new
gosh.
friends, and that ain't so bad because the ones that I have.
So
are
I
the
grew up in Buffalo.
best that I've had.
And I went to Catholic grade school, Catholic high school, Catholic college, and then it was a little questionable after that. But when I was in high school, there were maybe 2 or 3 of us Irish guys, and it was a city school, and it, in the city, and there was no grass. It was in the city.
Right.
There was no grass. It was like the blackboard jungle. I
Right.
mean, there was no grass. But all my friends were Italians, and I love Italians. Joey Calabrese, Don DePiro,
Joey bag of donuts.
Joey Bag of Donuts.
Joey Bag of Donuts.
Joey Bag of Donuts.
I forget where I was going with the story, but oh my gosh.
I think it had maybe something to do with there was no grass, so was it sports related?
No, it was more. I know. It was more friendship related. And to this day, I'm so close to a couple of these guys. One guy turned out, and I thought he was going to be a pervert, and he turned out he's a writer. He's an artist. Well, that's why I thought he was going to be a pervert.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I'm a writer. What are you saying?
Well, I'm not saying nothing, but you got to deal with your own problems.
Not you, of course.
Not me, of course. No.
So
the other writer.
So in high school, when we're growing up, we got all the Italians and a couple of Irish guys. And the Italians wanted one of 2 things. They either wanted to be doctors or they wanted to go into the mob.
Right.
In Buffalo, they wanted to go into the mob. And that was a legitimate job.
That was a vocational path.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Totally.
I know.
Like woodworking.
Yeah,
In Buffalo, so was Buffalo a hot zone, or they
Joel
would go
Tempio.
south?
Buffalo. Back in your day when you were growing up, Buffalo, yeah, there was
What?
a mob presence.
Right.
in
Oh
Buffalo,
yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Megadino's.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
actually have a book about this
Yeah,
guy.
there's definitely a huge mob presence.
Very cool.
Very
yeah, you
active.
don't hear about that often.
Very
but-
active.
No, because it's like a smaller market. It's not like
Jersey, yeah.
New York.
yeah,
Sopranos.
it's not like the Sopranos,
yeah.
right? But some guys you grew up with, you just love.
What
And
college-
Joey Calabrese, to this day, is one of my best friends, and we send each other stuff back and forth, stuff. And
What's he do?
so get this,
What's Joey doing for a living?
Joey.
Or did for a
Joey
living?
he wanted to be somebody really high level. He wanted to be a stockbroker, somebody that people respected. And back then, it didn't work out for either of us. So Joey gets in the car business, right? And he winds up owning 5 dealerships,
you
making
go.
millions.
There you go.
Making millions, right? And you know what he does? He retires, and now he lives down in Singer Island, and he plays the harmonica on the street with a couple of guys, and he puts a hat out. He puts a hat out.
Sure.
And I go, Joey, can I send you, can I Venmo you $2?
And he's a
Puts a hat
millionaire.
out. I get it.
He's
I
a
get
true
it.
millionaire.
I get it. He's got more money than he knows what to do with.
Oh, if you
but
saw
you gotta
him,
put the hat on. I'm playing
He's
for
got the
you.
hat on.
Give me a
upside
little
down,
something.
Right.
Hey, give me a little. Show me a little respect for what I did.
Hey,
Right.
Cash for coffee. Come on.
It's good. Yeah, no, I totally get it.
awesome.
I
He's
totally
as
get
happy
it.
as can be. Happy as can be.
Nice.
I love it. That's great. That's a great story.
I'm gonna try to when we get done here. I'm gonna try to get you down. We have a lot of whiskey lovers down at the Columbus Italian Club since you love Italian so much.
I do.
We're gonna arrange something down at the CIC down in Grandview. Will you bring these three? Will you bring all 3 of them down at the Columbus Italian Club?
Absolutely. You said the CIC?
Yeah, Columbus Italian Club down in Grandview.
So up
I'm
on
past
Lake
president. I'm a
Erie.
past president.
Up on Lake Erie, there's a club called the CIC.
Did you hear what I said? I'm a past president. You can't. You
I'm
can't
try-
deny
I'm
me.
trying to ignore
You
you.
can't deny me.
No, I will show up and serve everybody. I'll give them Holy Communion if you let me. All right, so
Do you know what he does now?
CIC.
though?
so up at
He
the
buys
lake,
the
you
flags.
said the CIC,
Yeah.
right? Is
Right.
the whatever the club is.
Columbus Italian Club, CIC.
So up at the lake, there's a WASP club called CIC, the Catawba Island Club. Maybe your sister clubs.
Maybe, possibly, doubt it.
I doubt it too.
But could be.
But hey, we would welcome them as long as they welcome us.
They won't welcome you,
Oh well,
but I will, and I will come to your club anytime.
Yeah, baby.
Anytime.
I'm serious about making that happen.
You
Because
think I'm bullshitting?
no,
You think just because I'm Irish, I lie?
no. I know you're Irish, and I know you lie.
Do I have to? Well, that's because I want to be a politician.
Boys.
But no, there's a lot of
Are
bourbon.
we done now? Are we
No,
done?
no,
Can
we're
we
almost
just drink?
done.
Can
We're
we just
almost done.
drink?
We're almost done.
Almost
There are a lot of bourbon. We get a barrel. We get a private barrel almost every other year
There you go.
at the CIC.
A local one.
We got one coming from
The Catawba Island
we've
Club,
had one
bunch
from
of wasps.
Old Forester. We had one from Old Forester. We had one.
What do you
with-
think this would
Did you
stand
wrestle
up?
one?
With this, they would. Yes.
Right? It'd
Yeah.
be
I'm
okay.
gonna make a tasting happen so that everybody gets familiar with the
if
brand.
you need any bottles, just let me know.
I want you to come down to the
No,
club.
I'm just telling you.
You
need
get the
some
Bocce
bottles?
Brothers in on it. Let's go.
I'm into marketing, man.
I understand that, but I want you. I
You want
you
some hookers?
to-
Oh, excuse me.
Just joking.
He said that. He said that. The other guy in the
Yeah.
microphone.
We don't need
Invitation
any.
of our guests.
We don't need any of those. That's the good old battle
Oh, I
days.
thought we were in Buffalo. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. The guys that are watching this are like going like, say yes. No.
Yeah, did anybody email you anything?
I can't wait for your daughter to watch this.
She's gonna say, Dad, once again, you've embarrassed the entire family.
And the company. No. What? No, seriously. What were you, now your daughter, who's got a very focused mind apparently, and knows the business. She was in the fashion world, and now she's in this world. What do you think she's going to think of this little journey we had tonight?
She's just gonna laugh at us and say, Couple of old stupid guys.
Yeah. But she'll
Meaning
be-
you. She's
me-
talking
meaning-
about you.
Oh no, she's,
A couple, not a group of.
it takes two.
It takes two to tango.
It takes two to. It takes two to be this stupid. I can be stupid on my
she's
own.
gonna love it. She's gonna love it.
I hope so. I hope so.
Because
Because
she knows my personality, and she always says to me, "Are you running for mayor this year or what? What are
Right.
you doing?" Because she can't contain me.
Are you running for? Because I know the mayor
Oh, good for you.
at Powell.
Are you the
Oh,
Powell?
the mayor of Powell. I
Yeah, he's
thought you
been
meant
a guest,
the mayor
though.
of
He's been a
Columbus.
I know him
Do you
too.
live in Powell?
Huh? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know the mayor of Powell?
No.
You know, I do.
It's
yeah.
great. It's great.
He was on the show.
He's my good buddy Dan Swartout.
He's a good guy.
He's a
Yeah,
great
he's
guy
That's good.
and a bourbon lover.
That's good.
And a bourbon lover. So I got to get some of this to him too.
Yeah, we got to get him in the same room with this.
So you want to hear something? You're not going to believe this.
All right. Yes, I am.
Because nobody you know has ever. I'm going back. I don't know how many years.
Try
ago.
me.
30 years ago, I had breakfast with Henry Kissinger
Wow.
because I was doing some work for the Republicans in Ohio, and it's Henry and me, the two of us, and he's going, "Who are you? What do you want? Why are you bothering me?" I thought I was talking to Adolf Hitler.
So,
That's
is it before you ordered breakfast? Did you actually have breakfast and sit with him and eat?
Yes,
Yeah. Was it quiet?
he
Just
is the
quiet.
smartest guy.
He's a genius.
the smartest guy I've ever met in my whole life, and I've met a lot of people in my whole life, including Donald Trump. Thank you very much.
What did he order? You remember what he ordered? Eggs Benedict?
Actually, I don't. I don't.
It's all right. What did Trump order?
A couple of hookers.
I was worried about you for a second.
Oh my God.
No, but seriously,
there it is.
But seriously,
Henry
folks, to the
Kissinger
boom.
was so serious and so put together. And well, what do you think about the world? How are things going? Whoa, me? I'm just trying to make it through the day and get my paycheck.
Yeah.
Right.
He showed up at the premiere of The Godfather. I know that much.
That's right.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Henry Kissinger. Yeah, head of the studio wanted Kissinger there at the premiere, and somehow they made it.
Yeah.
But he showed.
A little off topic. Do you think, is there a Henry Kissinger of today? Like, is there a person that is equivalent to Henry Kissinger?
No.
today?
No,
No.
absolutely
And if
not.
not, why not?
I know. Well,
Well,
that's
because-
way too. That's a multifaceted question.
That's right.
Thank you.
But no.
Oh,
no.
oh, maybe Janet Yellen.
Janet Yellen.
Okay, because
We better not go down this.
We're not going to go down. We're not going. We're going to save that for another podcast.
Whiskey Business is the podcast, not so much about whiskey.
We're gonna start to wrap things up because and we can continue to.
Let
drink
me
and talk.
thank you, boys.
No, let me thank
for
you
being together.
first.
This is just great. It's a lot of fun.
I told you you'd have a good
guys
time.
just-
Appreciate it.
I know you did.
And
And you
you
gave me a $10, guarantee.
Yeah, well,
Which I'm going to
Yeah.
call.
Yeah. No, you owe me $10
Oh,
now.
I owe
Yeah,
you
$10.
10.
If you have a
No,
bad
this-
time, I owe
This
you
is
10.
just great.
I hope you had a good time.
Absolutely. Thanks,
I hope you
guys.
had a good time because you
Yeah,
have a
thank
great
you.
product. You're a good man. You have a great product. I love the fact that it's family involved as well. So thank you, Megan, for making all this happen as well, staying in touch with us and keeping things going. Chip got a lot of photos.
I just requested your daughter to follow me on Instagram as well.
She will.
Just you?
Just me first.
If a guy 6'7" shows up, you're going.
Yeah. Did you not listen to the everything?
Yes,
we were talking
yes.
about?
He's a handsome Italian. He's the best guy in the world. I know.
We're gonna wrap things up.
And
Our
there's
guest
me.
has been Ed Carey, who considers himself to be a whiskey merchant. I like that. By the way. And the merch is Magnolia whiskey, which we have thoroughly enjoyed. Check this out at your favorite local place if they have it. If they don't, ask for it. Say, why aren't you selling Magnolia, and get it? These bottles are staying here with us here at Whiskey Business Headquarters. So That's gonna be
Same
good.
thing at your bars.
No, trust me. This you'll get a lot of mileage out of these 3 bottles because I will share them with friends.
I don't care.
And
Do what you want.
no, I'm going to share them with friends and turn them on to this stuff. They will, and then they will seek it out.
Like I
and
don't
so
even remember
forth
what
and
we
so
had
on.
last time we recorded.
What?
Whiskey.
The last whiskey we had?
I'm just saying that I'm sure it was fine, but this is a very
We had
memorable tasting.
We had a Rebel Yell rye whiskey.
My condolences.
Yeah, we had that on the podcast last. It was all right.
Yeah.
We got it because our guests weren't big whiskey people. So
Right. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. Shit.
Let me hit the social medias.
hit the social media
Do
one
it.
more time, and I'm gonna wrap it up.
Whiskey me.
Whiskey what?
Me.
Whiskey me?
Whiskey me.
Whiskey Business is the podcast, not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. We are on Instagram, Facebook, also YouTube, Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis, where you can watch the unedited versions of these podcasts.
That should be fun.
Hit that subscribe button while you're there.
Smash.
Click that ding. Ding, ding. And you'll get notifications when we have new episodes. Thank you for subscribing on your favorite podcasting episode. If you're listening on whatever podcasting platform you are, hit subscribe. We got new episodes every other week, and tell your friends about it. The word of mouth is a lot of fun, and
It's helping because whatever you guys are doing,
Yeah.
for some reason in 2023, things have just cranked
doing
up
good.
a notch, more so, a higher percentage of
Yeah.
of subscribers and listeners than we've had in the last 3 years.
Yep.
All of a sudden, you know what? Much like you've got these 3 and 5 year old whiskeys that are sitting around, the same thing has happened to our podcast.
Yeah.
It took 3 or 4 years, but
Right,
you know what?
right.
God damn it, people are
It's
starting to
starting
dig
to do
it and appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for all
Yes,
that.
yes.
Is that all the business?
Yeah.
The premise on April 13th.
April 13th,
There's
the premise
Tickets are on sale now.
on the upfront stage. Our what will we call that? Our branch off,
It's a side hustle.
the side hustle that we love. It's gonna. That's fun. You'll enjoy that
you
too.
could go back in our archives at whiskeybusinesspod.com,
Yeah, it's there,
and
yeah.
there's shows that we did. It's a live podcast at a comedy show.
It's a comedy.
but we had before
it's-
pandemic, and
it's-
then
it's great.
blah,
It's
blah,
everything.
blah. And then but we're starting back up. So
And it's breaking different type of podcast ground.
Yeah.
loosely every third Thursday of
Every
the month.
second
Is that right? Okay,
Thursday.
sorry. I wanna edit
Second or
that.
third? Second.
Loosely every second Thursday of the month.
In May it'll be the second.
It could be third. I don't know.
All right, I won't
We'll let
fucking
you
say
know.
that at all. Edit it
April
all out.
13th is the one you got to
Check
focus
your
on right
local
now.
listings.
April 13th is the one you got to focus on now.
And
Thank
you get to meet Dino Tripodis in person.
Yeah, that's not a draw. Let's go focus on all the other stuff. Ed Carey,
Greg Hansberry, his crazy sidekick.
Ed Carey, thank you. People will see you out and about doing
Thank you. This
tastings.
has been wonderful.
It has been. Thank you, my friend. Magnolia Whiskey. Mark it down, check it out, and get it. My name is Dino Tripodis. This is Whiskey Business. Until the next bottle, see ya.